in the parking lot, someone hit him. What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to try to diagnose the brake problem on Jesus's Skyline. Also, this makes me pretty sad, but we are going to start the part out process of this car. We'll deal with that later though. This is kind of more important because the Skyline is Jesus's daily driver after all. So guys, in terms of the braking problem, the brakes feel fine, but the fronts are squealing like really loud. Now that we got the wheel off, we'll be able to like look at the brakes really good. But I do just want to point out, this is kind of one of my issues with buying cars from Japan. Everything tends to be rusted out. Jesus's plan down the road is to buy coilovers for the car, but then you still have to deal with all this other stuff. There's just surface rust everywhere. Anyways, in terms of the brakes, let's get this turned. Oh, maybe. We'll see. So right off the bat, I don't see anything that screams to me like, hey, this is what would cause the screeching, because like everything is lubricated. This is old hardware, but that's not the biggest deal in the world. Over here, I don't really see any abnormal wear. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take the pads off. I've never taken off the brake pads on this car, obviously, but it looks pretty simple. I think I just removed this retaining clip here. These pins should slide out along with this little clip. Then I believe these pads should just come out. There's no other wear marks on the rotor or the caliper or anything like that. So what I'm gonna go out on a limb and say is that this side's fine, and it's probably the other side that's making the noise. At least I hope that's what it is, because if it's not, I'm really confused. I guess there is the other option that because these are turbo brakes off of a 300Z, potentially speaking, they're meant to operate at a higher temperature, but I don't think that's the case. My gut just tells me that these are not like track pads. We're gonna put this side back together, and then we'll hop on over to the passenger side. I have to think about that just because, you know, this is right-hand drive versus left-hand drive. So on this side, you can actually see something's been like wearing and rubbing here versus the other side, which has no wear marks. So that's pretty weird. So after taking a quick look, there's nothing here that makes me think that this would be hitting here, which is the wear indicator. But on the backside of the rotor here, there's actually this deep groove, which should not be there. I wonder if we got a rock stuck in the brakes or something like that. Actually, you can see more abnormal wear there. If you look, right here's another like little groove. Everything's lubricated, everything's tight. The passenger side rotor had that wear on the inside where it meets the hub, and it also had that groove. But what that actually reminded me of is the fact that the rotors aren't new. So I'm starting to think that the rotors could be warped, and that would explain the squeaking. Now there is another thing I want to look into today, but first we got to go back like a month ago when Jesus had the car. He went to the store, parked the car, and in the parking lot someone hit him, as you can see right here. Yeah, the damage is actually pretty bad. They scuffed this, and then as you can see they crunched it here. So yeah, that is a pretty cruddy situation, to be honest with you guys. He spent his hard-earned cash just for someone to hit the car. It kind of sucks because no insurance, so Jesus pretty much is just stuck eating it. Anyways though, the reason why I'm gonna look at it is that I noticed that there's like a thud on takeoff. I mean, I did drive the car when he first got it, but that was like 2 months ago now, so I don't recall if that was there or not. But just as a precaution, I'm gonna get under there and check everything out. Well guys, pretty much what I'm just gonna do is like look things over, see if anything seems super loose. There's not really any movement side to side. What about up and down? No, nothing there. So guys, essentially what I'm seeing here is that like all the bushings and stuff are cracked, which is I guess no surprise because it's such an old car. I think in a nutshell, it really just needs a suspension refresh because like I said, each bushing is torn. Down here, the ball joint is torn. Here is the ball joint for the Hikis system. So that one's in good shape. This one was actually replaced by the dealership that sold Jesus the car, but it just seems like it's like your stereotypical, you know, 25-year-old car stuff that needs to be replaced, which could account for the thudding movement. To me, it seems like something in the suspension is moving when it's not supposed to. But like I said, bad bushings, the ball joints, all of that stuff could easily be the reason that that's happening. Probably one of the good things is that like nothing seems bent to the eye. Not that it's not bent, it's just, you know, if I'm able to look at it and see that, hey, that's not straight, that's when you have major issues. Earlier I mentioned that there is rust on the front struts, but there's also rust back here. So right here is where there is a tow hook, and then over here, this is the bottom of the trunk. You're gonna see a bunch of rust that's already starting to bubble up. I'm not pointing these things out because I'm trying to knock the car. I actually think it's a really cool car, but one of the things I've consistently seen when dealing with cars that are imported from Japan is that they have a large amount of rust. So if you're looking to import, like, really do your due diligence, because, like, to be honest with you guys, when Jesus showed me the pictures of the car seemed really straight, and then to find that rust, it's disappointing, but it's honestly not surprising. Well, we are done with the process of looking over this car, so on to the process of starting to strip this down. But to be honest with you, I'm gonna save it for another day. Of course, this took longer than expected as usual. I honestly don't know why I had such high hopes, but at the very minimum, I can at least explain to you guys why I'm gonna junk the car. The easiest way to explain it is I'm just gonna pick a panel at random. Oh, right there, look it, there's rust. Take this off. Oh, more rust. On top of all that, a potential buyer also helped me figure out the fact that that engine mounting location and the one right here have been modified. So that means if I had like a stock 4A or anything like that, I couldn't just bolt it right in. On top of that, the front and rear mounting locations are starting to get rusted out. So in a nutshell, what ended up happening is, as I'm showing people the car, telling them about it, people were just consistently saying, hey, you know what? It's just not for me, too big of a project. And I totally get that. After having a few deals fall through, I decided I'm gonna try to part this car out. So pretty much my plan is I'm gonna take the parts that I know that are good. It really sucks, but just being objective about it, I mean, every panel has rust mixed with the fact that the engine mounting locations have been altered. Well, 2 of them have been altered, the other 2 are rusted out. Add in the fact that things like the fuel tank, the cooling system, all that has to be gone through. It's not the project for me. No one else wants to take it on, so it just looks like it's gonna go to the dump, unfortunately. But on the bright side, with the parts, they should help other cars live on. I'm not gonna trash it or junk it for a couple weeks, so by the time you guys see this video, I'll still have it, which means if there's something extra you want me to take off, let me know. I'm willing to sell stuff for cheap. Well guys, I'm gonna go take the V6 MR2 for a cruise, so thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.